off the ring is more, and he's bigger and stronger, and I think, you know, there's a risk there for Crawford. But this is why you tune in, right? Crawford keeps doing the amazing.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are stepping up to bring back the essence of true boxing, offering fans a real fight after the spectacle that was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Let's be honest, calling that matchup a serious sporting event is a stretch. While it generated buzz, it left many hardcore boxing fans disappointed, reminding everyone how much the sport needs real, legacy-defining fights. That's exactly what Crawford and Canelo are here to deliver. Both fighters represent the pinnacle of skill, dedication, and discipline in the sport. Crawford, an undefeated, undisputed champion, has dominated every opponent he has faced, showcasing a rare combination of speed, precision, and adaptability. Canelo, a multi-division champion with an iron chin and devastating power, has proven time and time again why he's one of the greatest of his era. Together, they bring credibility and excitement back to boxing in a way that gimmick fights simply cannot. This isn't about social media hype or manufactured drama, it's about two elite fighters proving who is truly the best. For fans craving a fight with real stakes, real skill, and real legacy implications, Crawford vs. Canelo is exactly what boxing needs right now.
Looking for the big fight, Crawford Canelo, you know, we're preparing for this. You want to do everything, Crawford.
Their May 2025 clash is a tribute to boxing's legacy, a pure, untainted battle of skill and heart.
Yo, Turkey, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes! Let's go! Canelo, come on!
These two undisputed champions are stepping into the ring not for fame, but to prove why they reign supreme in the sport. The Tyson-Paul fiasco? It'll be a distant memory once Crawford and Canelo deliver a masterclass that leaves everyone in awe. Get ready for a fight so authentic, so epic, it's bound to dominate every conversation in the boxing world.
Text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, two undisputed champions from entirely different weight classes, are set to share one stage that could redefine the boundaries of what's possible in boxing. If you thought Crawford's 2023 domination of Errol Spence Jr. was legendary, this showdown promises to raise the bar to an entirely new level.
Has the Canelo fight, you know, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talk. You know, with the right.
Crawford may be 36, but don't let that fool you, he's an absolute force in the ring. As the first fighter in the four-belt era to hold undisputed titles in two weight divisions, his accomplishments are unmatched. And let's not forget how he didn't just beat Errol Spence Jr., he dismantled him with a 9th-round TKO, making it look like a sparring session. Crawford has been tearing through weight classes like levels in a video game, and now he's ready to jump an incredible 21 pounds to face Canelo. That's not just a challenge, it's borderline insane. But if anyone can pull off the impossible, it's Bud.
How can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo. I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody can.
Now, let's talk about Canelo Alvarez, the 33-year-old king of the super middleweight division. His record says it all: 59 wins, 2 losses, and 39 knockouts. He's been ruling the 168-pound division like an unstoppable force. Just last year, he easily dispatched Jamie Munguia and Edgar Berlanga without breaking a sweat. Canelo's power, precision, and adaptability make him a dangerous opponent for anyone. He's already shown he can hold his own against bigger fighters, though Dimitri Bivol was a rare exception. But let's not dwell on that too much.
Turkey Alishik say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight. And
why does this fight matter so much? It's more than a clash of champions, it's about legacy. Crawford is making a bold move, jumping 2 entire weight classes to pit his speed and technical brilliance against Canelo's size and raw power. This is the kind of fight that defines careers, or shatters them, and let's not overlook the setting: Saudi Arabia. The land of oil and limitless wealth is making this showdown possible, with rumored paydays that are nothing short of record-breaking. When record-breaking and boxing are mentioned in the same sentence, you know it's not small change. Saudi Arabia has been pouring money into combat sports like it's monopoly cash, and this fight might just become the crown jewel of their efforts.
Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit.
Let's not pretend this will be an easy ride for Crawford. Sure, he already moved up to 154 pounds and took out Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA world title, a feat that was nothing short of impressive. But 168 pounds is an entirely different challenge. Adding another 14 pounds to his frame is no small task, and that's where things get tricky. Speed, stamina, power, how much of that stays intact when you're carrying the equivalent of 2 Thanksgiving dinners?
Keeps bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, you know, because you'd have to gain like, what, 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, you know what I mean? Catchweight.
Mm-hmm.
You can do something at a catchweight.
What weight you think?
Probably like 160 or something.
But you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158.
Experts are already weighing in, and opinions are split. David Benavidez, who knows a thing or two about battling bigger opponents, thinks Crawford might be biting off more than he can chew. On the other hand, Demetrius Andrade praises Crawford's skills but acknowledges that Canelo's size and agility could be overwhelming. These aren't just hot takes, they're valid concerns. Meanwhile, Canelo hasn't exactly been eager to make this fight happen. At first, he dismissed the idea, saying it wasn't worth it. And you can see his point. If he wins, critics will say Crawford was too small. But if he loses? The internet would go into a frenzy. However, enter Saudi Arabia and their bottomless bankroll. With the right price on the table, Canelo recently hinted he's open to the fight.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is the kind of showdown that could redefine boxing history. On one side, you have Crawford, a technical mastermind who dissects opponents like he's solving a complex puzzle. On the other, there's Canelo, a powerhouse who has dominated the 168-pound division with an iron grip. This fight isn't just about titles or even money, though let's be honest, money's part of it. It's about legacy, high stakes, and a stage big enough to showcase the greatness of both fighters.
If Crawford and Canelo were to come to fruition, you see that being competitive, still even with the 21-pound difference, Jim?
And if I'm Crawford, I don't want to have to go up to 168 pounds to get the fight. I want to somehow gull Canelo into thinking that it's okay to fight him at, best of all possible world.
Let's start with Crawford. This guy is a masterclass in adaptability. Against Errol Spence Jr., he didn't just win, he put on a performance so one-sided it felt like Spence wandered into the wrong sport. Crawford landed 50% of his power punches, while Spence could only manage 13%. That's not just dominance, it's a boxing clinic. And it's not just Spence, Crawford does this to everyone. He finds your weakness mid-fight, exploits it, and makes it look effortless. But Crawford's move up in weight has been, let's say, an adventure. Against Israel Madrimov, he completely changed his style, becoming more aggressive and less reliant on movement. Trading punches with a bigger guy was a bold move, but it worked, sort of. While he won, it raised questions about how much his power will carry into higher weight classes. Now, at 168 pounds, Crawford is stepping into uncharted territory, where opponents aren't just bigger, they're built to absorb the kinds of punches that flatten smaller fighters. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Crawford hasn't been knocking out bigger guys the way he did in lighter divisions. Facing someone like Canelo, who's made a career of taking big shots without flinching, could pose a serious challenge. Canelo Alvarez's ability to cut off the ring and apply relentless pressure is one of his greatest strengths. He has dismantled technical boxers, knockout artists, and every style in between, proving time and time again why he's one of the most dominant fighters in the sport. With a knockout rate of 65% at 168 pounds, he possesses the kind of power that forces opponents to second-guess their game plan or even their career choices, but Canelo isn't without flaws. One of his biggest weaknesses is his tendency to slow down in the later rounds. His punch output drops as fights progress, and that could be a major problem against an opponent like Terence Crawford, who thrives on movement, adaptability, and high-volume counterpunching. We saw this issue play out against Dimitri Bivol, where Canelo struggled to keep up with a bigger, more mobile fighter who refused to stand in front of him. Crawford is known for his ability to read opponents, make adjustments, and exploit weaknesses. If he can stay elusive, avoid Canelo's early power shots, and capitalize on the later rounds when Canelo's pace slows, he might have a real path to victory. However, this is easier said than done. Canelo's pressure isn't just about landing power shots, it's about mentally and physically exhausting his opponents, forcing them into mistakes. This fight is shaping up to be a battle of strategy. Can Crawford outmaneuver and outlast Canelo, or will the Mexican superstar's power and relentless aggression be too much to handle? If Crawford can successfully exploit Canelo's stamina issues, we might be looking at one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Either way, this fight promises to be an electrifying chess match in the ring.
Looking for the big fight, Crawford Canelo, we're preparing for this. You want to do everything, Crawford.
Experts have plenty to say about this potential showdown. David Benavidez believes Terence Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory by moving up to 168 pounds, where fighters can absorb shots that would drop welterweights. He sees Canelo's experience at this weight class as the key advantage that could decide the fight. Demetrius Andrade, a strong supporter of Crawford's technical skills, also has doubts. While he respects Crawford's ability to adapt and outbox opponents, he isn't convinced that speed and technique alone can overcome Canelo's size, strength, and experience at higher weights. Meanwhile, Saudi promoters are making sure money isn't an issue. They're reportedly offering each fighter anywhere between $50 million and $100 million to make the fight happen. The Saudis have been establishing themselves as a major force in boxing, and this fight fits perfectly into their vision. It's not just about the payday, it's about bringing global attention to the sport and delivering must-see matchups.
Power. Or by no power? Yeah. We're not to roll with punches. We're not to take power. You take your power away from. How you take a power punch? Take the power away from a puncher. Let's know. What? No, I ain't gonna tell you. You should know.
Slide off, take something off the shot here and there.
That's
For Terence Crawford, this fight is about proving that skill and precision can overcome sheer size and power. A victory would not only secure his legacy as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in history but also silence any lingering doubts about his ability to compete against naturally bigger opponents. Unlike many fighters chasing massive paydays, Crawford is chasing greatness. He's already conquered the welterweight division, but stepping up to face Canelo Alvarez is a whole new challenge, arguably the biggest of his career. And let's be honest, the odds aren't in his favor. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, has his own statement to make. While he has already solidified his place in boxing history, a win over Crawford would further reinforce his dominance. Some critics believe he's lost a step, questioning whether he's still the same fighter who tore through multiple weight classes. But if there's one thing we know about Canelo, it's that he thrives on challenges. Whether it's moving up in weight to fight larger opponents or taking on highly skilled technicians, he has never shied away from risk.
Canelo versus Crawford, the biggest fight in the game. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing.
Beating Crawford wouldn't just add to his legacy, it would remind the world that he's still at the top of the game. So, what's the deal? Fans and analysts are split down the middle. On paper, Canelo has the advantages. He's the naturally bigger fighter, with more experience at higher weight classes and knockout power that has dismantled some of the best in the sport. But Crawford isn't your typical challenger. His speed, IQ, and adaptability make him an unpredictable force. He has an uncanny ability to make in-fight adjustments, and if anyone can find a way to neutralize Canelo's strengths, it's him. That's what makes this fight so exciting. No one truly knows how it will unfold. Some predict Canelo's power will be too much for Crawford to handle, while others believe Crawford's technique and movement will allow him to outbox the Mexican superstar. This isn't just another high-profile matchup, it's a moment in boxing history. A battle between two undisputed champions, each with everything to lose and even more to gain, and with Saudi money backing the event, it's becoming increasingly likely that this fight will happen sooner rather than later. If it does, it won't just be another big fight, it will be an era-defining event, the kind of showdown that boxing fans will talk about for decades. Two of the best fighters of their generation, each with their own motivations, stepping into the ring to prove who truly reigns supreme. Buckle up, because if Crawford versus Canelo becomes a reality, it could very well be the fight of the century.